In this video, I'm going to introduce the concept of arrays through this motivating example involving a servo in this setup that we've done, several times before. So I've just wired it up to 5 volts in ground and the control wire to pin 2. And then over in my code, what I've done is I've set up the kind of same exact code that we've done kind of time and time again, where we include the servo library, define the pin number, create the servo object, set up the serial board just in case you need it, attach the pin, write some initial position, and wait for 2 seconds for it to go there. Now what I've done inside of loop is I've added some code to cycle through some different angles. So it's going from 0 to 30 to 60 to 90 to 60 to 30, and then it goes back up to the top of loop and goes to 0 again. And what I've done is I've delayed for 1 second between each one of those writes to give it time to get to that new position. So let's upload this program and just kind of see how it works here, taking a look here. So it is uploading and it's gone, and so now it's at 0, waiting 2 seconds, and then it goes to 30, 60, 90, 60, 30, 0, 30, 60, 90, 60, 30, 0. And it kind of keeps going through this process over and over again. So I'm going to remove this. And yeah, this is stuff that we've all done before. This is nothing new to us at this point. So let's talk about what we can do to kind of reduce some of the redundancy in this code and use this programming concept called arrays. Now, arrays are something that exist across most different programming languages, and the way that it's implemented in Arduino is very similar to a lot of other languages. So what we're going to try to do is instead of having these kind of very repetitive lines inside of loop over and over again, we're going to essentially try to will it down to just 2 lines of code that we can put inside of a loop. Because when we have a lot of redundant code, a good way of removing that redundant code is putting it inside of a loop structure that loops some number of times. And so here we have kind of 6 steps that we're going through, right? We're writing the 6 different angles and delaying 1 time. So we could have some loop that repeats 6 different times. So what we've done before is when we need to run a loop 6 times, what we do is we set up some control variable I, and we start it at 0, and we repeat while I is less than the value of 6, and then we add 1 to I each time. And so this loop here would repeat 6 times, but we're going to have an issue here because each time it is just writing an angle of 0 over and over and over again. Right? So even though this repeats 6 times, we need to change which angle it's going to. So it went from 0 to 30 to 60 to 90 to 60 to 30 and then back down to 0 again. So we can't just add 30 each time because at a certain point it wraps back around and it goes back down. So we could add a little bit more complexity in here to say once it gets to 90, start subtracting, and then once it gets to 0, start adding. But that gets a little cumbersome inside of here. So what we want to do is we want to create an array, and an array is just a collection of values with the same type. And so by type we mean like the type of the variable here. And so the type of our values that we care about here are the angles, which are these integer values that we're writing to our servo. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just create, I guess we could do it as a global variable, or you could do it inside of here, whichever makes the most sense, but I'm going to put it up here as a global variable. So I'm going to define some integer value called angles, but it's going to be a collection or multiple different integer values, right, representing each one of the different angles that we want it to go to. So the way that we define it as an array to indicate that there are going to be multiple values is we still say int and then the variable name, but after the variable name what we're going to do is put an open square bracket and a closed square bracket to indicate that this variable is an array or a collection of different integer values. And then what I can do is I can initialize it to be some set of values here. And so when I'm defining an array as a sequence of multiple values, what I need to do is put those values inside of curly braces with commas separating them. So the first value that we had was 0, and then it was 30, and then it was 60, and then it was 90, and then it was 60, and then it was 30. Right? So there it is. It's going through each one of those different values here. So we have 0, 30, 60, 90, 60, 30. So we have 6 different values now stored inside of one variable. So that's a lot easier than like coming here and saying, okay, we have angle 1 equals 0, angle 2 equals blah, like over and over again. We can just have one variable assign these collection of different values. And now what I'll show you how to do is how we can loop through those different values inside of this loop here. Okay, so the way that we access one value from an array is we use its index. And so in programming, the index is the position at which it's located, right? So the order of these values here. So this is like our first value. So this is at the first index. And in programming, we start counting at 0. So the first value is at index 0. The second value would be at index 1. The third value would be at index 2, and so on down the line. So here, because we have 6 values, our last value is at index 5 because our first value is at index 0. And so the way that we refer to one of those in a line of code is we can say angles square bracket 0. And so that would look inside of this array and grab the first value inside of that array because it would grab the value at index 0. And so that would just return 0. If I said angles 2, that would go through and it would grab this value because this is index 0, index 1, and index 2. And then if I said angles 5, that would grab this value here because this is index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so to go back down to here, if I wanted to, instead of just always writing 0, I wanted to add some value here, what I can do is say this control variable I here isn't just meaningless. Essentially what this can be is our index value, right? Because it starts at 0 and it goes up to 5 because it ends when I is no longer less than 6. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just put angles square bracket I. So the first time this loop runs, I is 0, so it's going to grab this first value from our array. The next time I is going to be 1, so it's going to grab the second value from our array, and so on and so forth until it gets to the very end. Then it will stop because we only have 6 values here. So let's upload this, and what we should see is basically exactly the same behavior. I'm going to plug this back in here, and so we see it start at 0, and then 30, 60, 90, 60, 30, 0. So we're getting the exact same behavior, but with a lot more succinct code here. That's a little bit easier to understand, and it's a lot easier to adapt to a variety of different situations. So I'm going to unplug this so it stops making sound. But say I wanted to change my angle values. Maybe I wanted to go in steps of 45. So I would say maybe let's go to 45, 90, 135, and then go all the way up to 180, and then we'll go back down to 135, and then go to 90, and then go to 45, and then after that I'll go down to 0. So I still have an array here, but I actually have more values, right? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 values, right? So I would need to change my control variable here so that it would go up to but not including 8 because the last valid index here is 7. And so by changing this to 8, it would now cycle through all of these different values here. So if you didn't want to hard code this value of 8 here to say, okay, I counted up exactly 8 elements here and put it here, say you added a bunch more elements and you didn't want to have to count them up and modify this value continuously as you added or removed more values from your angles, if you were having it move through different positions of like an arm of a robot or something like that, there is a way of dynamically computating these values within the Arduino code so that it's computing it and you're not computing it. And so what we're going to do, the key here is to use this size of function, which returns the size or the amount of space allocated in memory for something in code, like some variable here. So if I say size of, and I pass in angles, which is our array, that's going to return back to me the space allocated in memory for angles. But you would expect to get a value of 8 here, but actually what this would give us is 16, because for each one of these values here, there's actually 2 blocks of memory allocated to store, the full range of values here. And so to get the true number of elements for a particular array, what you do is you say size of, and then the name of the variable of the array, and then you divide that by the size of one of the elements of the array. And so to do that, I'll just say angles 0 to get the size of just one of the elements here. So it's going to take the total size of all this and divide it by the size of that to give us the true number of elements. And so now what we can do is to check to make sure that that works. I'm going to upload it, and it's uploading, and I'm going to go back over to here and plug this into 2, and it starts out at 0, and then we should see it go to 45, 90, 135, 180, 135, 90, 45, 0. And it just keeps going through this process here, and it's dynamically computing that. So I could theoretically, if I wanted to, come back here, and if I added more values in here and re-uploaded the program, I wouldn't have to change anything about this for loop here, because it's going to compute it based on how many elements I added up here. So that's kind of the basics of using an array and why we would want to use an array.